1. The Sinister Gaze. In the middle of a sunny afternoon, two friends were strolling through a quiet neighborhood. They were enjoying the peaceful day when, suddenly, one of the men began to feel an unusual heaviness pressing down on his back.
撮影者が友人の引っ越し手伝いに訪れ、その近所を散
It felt as though something invisible had latched onto him, growing heavier with each step. Confused and alarmed, he crouched down, trying to relieve the pressure. His companion, sensing that something was wrong, instinctively took out his camera and began filming, hoping to capture whatever was happening.
嘘でしょそれ。冗談でしょ。行こうよ。ねえ。大丈夫？ねえ行こう。いや絶対ビビらそうとしてるでしょ俺を。
Upon reviewing the footage, however, they discovered something far more terrifying than a simple backache. Standing behind the man was the ghostly figure of a woman.
撮影者が友人の引っ越し手伝いに訪れ、その近所を散策。
いい大丈夫行こう。よし。やめて。何大丈夫？嘘でしょそれ。冗談でしょ。ねえ行こうよ。ねえ。
Her face was contorted with fury, her eyes staring straight at the camera with a hatred that seemed to transcend the screen. This wasn't just a trick of the light, it was the eerie, a spirit from Japanese folklore. Unlike most ghostly apparitions, the eerie of Japan are known to appear regardless of the time of day, and their presence is often tied to tragic, unnatural deaths. This particular sighting was a chilling reminder of the dark, supernatural forces that still roam the country, unhindered by the boundaries of life and death. 2. The Phantom of the Forest Path. On the Serpam Explore channel, the host decided to investigate a notoriously haunted forest path, known for its supernatural occurrences after dusk. The villagers had long avoided this road after sunset, claiming that strange and eerie figures could be seen drifting between the trees. Undeterred, the host ventured into the forest alone, determined to prove whether the legends were true or simply products of overactive imaginations. For a while, everything was calm. The forest seemed eerily quiet, with only the sound of rustling leaves to accompany him. But as night descended, the atmosphere changed. Out of the corner of his eye, the host saw a white figure gliding silently through the trees. He froze, his heart racing. The figure was far in the distance at first, barely discernible, but then it began to drift closer. It was not an illusion. The closer it got, the more palpable its presence became. Realizing that he had disturbed something unnatural, the host's sense of fear grew. This wasn't just a ghost story, it was reality, and he was standing in the middle of it.
La ilaha illallah. Sorry, Mahalik. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. A'udzu bikalimati. Aduh, gemetar. Allahu Akbar. Iya. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Iya.
3. The Witch's Lair. A group of international ghost hunters set their sights on an old, dilapidated building rumored to have been the home of a witch. For years, locals had claimed that the witch's spirit still haunted the halls, causing strange phenomena for anyone brave enough to enter. Undeterred by the tales, the ghost hunters ventured inside, determined to capture proof of the supernatural. From the moment they crossed the threshold, the atmosphere was thick with unease. The air felt heavier, and every step echoed ominously through the empty corridors. They began hearing strange sounds of faint whispers and soft footsteps that seemed to follow them from room to room. Then, as if provoked, one of the windows burst open, the sound of glass shattering reverberating through the building. The hunters froze, their adrenaline spiking, but their curiosity pushed them to continue. As they approached the window, it slammed shut with tremendous force. They were not alone in this building. In the flickering light of their flashlights, they saw here a pale, ghostly figure standing in the doorway. The witch had returned, her spirit bound to the building, waiting for those foolish enough to seek her out.
Maria! Você ouviu? No, no, no.
Four. The Village of Shadows. The Noob Team Explore crew returned to an abandoned village that had been deserted by its inhabitants years ago. The village had long been shrouded in mystery, with numerous reports of strange sightings, including that of a Pokonga and Indonesian ghost trapped in burial shrouds. Determined to uncover the truth behind the legend, the team embarked on a late-night investigation, live-streaming their experience to a curious audience. As they explored the empty homes, the team's nerves were on edge. The village was unnervingly quiet, the air thick with anticipation. Then, out of nowhere, a Pokemon appeared, standing in a doorway, its glowing eyes fixed on them. The sight of the ghost sent the team into a panic, and they fled the house. But the village wasn't done with them yet. As they ran through the empty streets, more glowing red eyes appeared from the shadows, watching them with an eerie stillness. Each step they took seemed to invite more paranormal activity, as if the village itself was alive, intent on trapping them within its ghostly clutches.
Bapak Pocong, kalau kamu saya bukannya nggak berani Pak, cuman saya sungkan aja bapaknya. Ya kan, kalau bapaknya saya lawan, saya nggak kasihan Pak. Iya, soalnya kamu kan pocong nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain gitu loh Pak. Iya, kalau saya apa-apain, nanti takutnya dar gitu kan, ndak apa ya, kasihan Pak. Coba lah gua pusing banget, sumpah Cuk. Aduh. Apa jemput gue El? El jemput gue El. Gue udah gak bisa El, gak kuat El. Wah! 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 Jemput gua aja.
Five. The Face in the Dark. Kai Pranaluu, a seasoned ghost hunter, was no stranger to the supernatural, but nothing could have prepared him for the horror he encountered in an abandoned building late one night. The building had been left to decay for decades, its once bustling halls now filled with dust and darkness. As Kai Prana made his way through the rooms, he began to hear unsettling noises, whispers that seemed to come from every direction, and footsteps that echoed behind him, though no one else was there. Then, as he entered one of the rooms, he saw it, a face, grotesque and twisted, appearing out of the darkness. The apparition stood mere inches from him, its features distorted and horrifying, its eyes burning with a malevolent intensity. Kai Prana froze, his breath catching in his throat. Time seemed to stop as the ghostly figure lingered before him, its presence heavy with a sinister energy. It was a face he would never forget, a reminder that even the most experienced hunters can be caught off guard by the unknown.
Ada suara. Baik guys, kita pantengin di sini. Kita pantengin dia di sini.
Six. The Watcher in the Night. Ghost hunter C.H. Stewart set up camp deep in the Kolmadan jungle, near an ancient, long-abandoned building rumored to be haunted. As night fell, the jungle grew still, and a sense of unease settled over the area. The only sounds were the whispers of the wind and the occasional rustle of leaves. Hours passed, and Stewart eventually fell asleep, unaware that his peaceful night was about to take a terrifying turn. He awoke to the sound of movement outside his tent. Peering through the flap, he saw it poking standing just a few feet away, its glowing eyes fixed on him. The ghostly figure was wrapped in its burial shroud, its eerie presence chilling Stewart to the core. Paralyzed by fear, he could only watch as the spirit stared at him, unmoving. The night seemed to stretch on forever as the poking stood its ground, watching Stewart until the first light of dawn broke the spell, leaving him questioning whether the boundary between the living and the dead had been breached.
Rumah ada suaranya nih. Astagfirullah. Astaga. Astaga. Kenapa kan tuh? Kenapa orang apa? Apa? Kenapa? Parah aku mana? Apa tuh? Kenapa? Apa tuh? Wush! Astagfirullahaladzim! Astagfirullah. Astaga. Kenapa kan tuh? Kenapa orang apa? Apa? Kenapa? Parah aku mana? Apa tuh? Kenapa? Apa tuh? Wush! Astagfirullahaladzim! Kenapa? Kotor!
7. The Haunting of the Forbidden Forest. A lone explorer ventured into a forest known for its haunted reputation. The locals spoke of a ghostly figure that would appear without warning, floating silently through the trees. Intrigued by the stories, the man set out to see if he could catch a glimpse of the specter for himself. As he walked deeper into the forest, the temperature dropped, and a thick fog rolled in, shrouding the trees in an eerie mist. Just as he was about to turn back, the ghost appeared. It hovered in front of him, its face contorted in pain, its eyes hollow and black. The explorer tried to approach the figure, but as he neared, it vanished into the fog, leaving only the echo of its presence behind. The forest, once peaceful, now felt like a place where the living had no place to tread.
Oke, kita harus berani. Berani. Tanganku gemetar. Aduh, gemetar lagi. Allahu Akbar.
8. The Ghost of the Forgotten Building. Dina official, a popular ghost hunter, took his team to an infamous haunted building. The moment they arrived, they were greeted by the sight of a kundilanak, a vengeful female spirit, standing atop the building. Intrigued by the sighting, Dina decided to press on and explore the interior of the building, hoping to capture more footage of the spirit. As they entered, the temperature inside the building dropped significantly, and a heavy sense of dread filled the air. The kundilanak reappeared, this time floating directly in front of Dina, her form dark and menacing. Determined to confront the spirit, Dina lit incense to lure it closer, but instead, the entire atmosphere shifted. It felt as though the walls were alive with unseen forces, and the kuntilanak wasn't the only entity in the building. Whatever else was there made it clear that the hunters were no longer welcome.
Kirain apa? Astagfirullah Al-Azim. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Kalimatika nahya astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaih. Astagfirullahalazim. Cuy. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun. Allahu la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum. La ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm, lahu ma fis samawati wa fil ardi, la yasma'una illa bihi, ya'lamu ma baina aydihim wa ma khalfahum. Wa la yutuna bi syai'in min ilmihi illa bima syaa, wasi'a kursiyyuhu samawati wal ardi wa la ya'uduhu hifdhuhuma wa huwal aliyyul azim. Astagfirullah. A'udzubika rabbi ayyahdurun. Rabbi a'udzubika min hamajatis syaitani wa a'udzubika rabbi ayyahdurun. Rabbi a'udzubika min hamajatis syaitani wa a'udzubika rabbi ayyahdurun. Astagfirullahalazim.
Nine. The ritual. In this terrifying encounter, Alam and Kisorio, two brave ghost hunters, ventured into a haunted site known for its spoken sightings. To summon the spirits, they performed a ritual, calling upon the entities that haunted the area. As they chanted, the temperature dropped, and the air grew thick with a scent of decay. Suddenly, a poking appeared, hurling itself toward them with terrifying speed. Smoke billowed from its mouth, filling the air with a foul odor. The men panicked, realizing that they had summoned something far more dangerous than they had anticipated. As the poking lunged toward them, they barely escaped, their hearts pounding as they fled the site.
Astagfirullah. Allah. Allah Akbar. Potong
Tenang.
Bau. Udah tadi ya. Tuh. Iya tuh kelihatan tuh. Tuh masih.
Iya.
Ini buktinya nih.
Tapi mau foto tidak berdaya. Tenang lu, udah tak perisa ini. Tenang aja kamu. Tenang. Lam.
Astagfirullah.
Den. The Cemetery of Fire. Late one night, Gunter Jaka, a daring ghost hunter, ventured into a haunted cemetery to perform a ritual that would summon the spirits of the dead. As he wandered through the graves, he chanted the incantations, hoping to capture something on camera. The cemetery was silent at first, but then, without warning, flames burst forth from one of the graves. As Gunter approached the flames, a poking materialized, its ghostly form illuminated by the fire. The sight of the spirit was enough to send Gunter running in terror, the haunting image of the poking burned into his memory forever.
Assalamualaikum waalaikumsalam. Ya khodam mughadam, ya khodam ruh, ya khodamul jasad, ya khodam goib, ya rijalul goib, hadir. Astagfirullah. Kirain nisan. Astagfirullah. Hadir jin-jin jahat. Astagfirullahaladzim. Allahu Akbar. Suara kikikan api, suara kikikan.
Depan ini untuk mengecek di belakang saya 360. Ini saya sengaja untuk diperdiam dulu. Ini di belakang saya. Astagfirullah. Astagfirullahaladzim. Astagfirullahaladzim, di atas saya, teman-teman. Di atas saya.
Jasad khodam gaib ya rijal. Astagfirullahaladzim. Sapunya. Innalillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Innalillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Innalillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Apa itu, teman-teman? Apa itu? Kita goyang, teman-teman. Goyang, teman-teman. Goyang. Dia goyang.
11. Laughter of the River. In the final story, Sapam explorer attempted to fish at a river known for its eerie reputation. The night was calm, and at first, there was nothing unusual. But as soon as he cast his line, a high-pitched, eerie laughter echoed through the darkness, followed by the sudden appearance of a grotesque figure. The figure's unsettling presence filled the explorer with terror, and as the laughter grew louder, he fled the scene, his heart racing as the echoes of the laughter followed him into the night. These 11 stories, each more chilling than the last, serve as a reminder that the unknown is never far away. Whether it's a haunted village or an abandoned building, the supernatural world lingers just out of sight, waiting for the brave or the foolish to cross its path. Whispers of the Unknown offers a glimpse into this world, where every shadow holds a secret and every unexplained phenomenon has a terrifying truth behind it.
Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Ada suara ketawa ya. Gimana ya? Dari sebelah sana. Tiba-tiba lampuku ini nggak mau nyala sama sekali ya. Saya nggak tahu kenapa. Allahu Akbar. Ini apaan ya? A'udzubikalimatillahit tammati min syarri. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allah.
Anak-anakan disiulin ya. Si jangkriknya serem banget.
Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Itu apa teman-teman? Allahu Akbar. Ya Allah, astagfirullahaladzim. Langsung jelas ya teman-teman. Allahu Akbar, lihat. Allahu Akbar, lihat. Di atas dia, di atas ya teman-teman. Ngambang ya teman-teman. Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Allahu Akbar. Itu di samping. Mana? Sini dia. Sini. Mana dia?
Disamperin.
Mana dia? Kesini. Di atas sini dia. Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Neng, nah ini ya sosok ini yang suka jahil itu. Astagfirullahaladzim, la ilaha illallah. Astagfirullahaladzim, la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Allahu Akbar.
Mana ya pintunya?
Astagfirullahaladzim, la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Allahu Akbar. Astagfirullah. Astagfirullahaladzim, la ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Sampai merasa lihat kuntilanak.
Astagfirullahaladzim. Astagfirullahaladzim, la ilaha illallah. Di sini saung. Assalamualaikum. Astagfirullahaladzim. Apa itu, suara apa tuh?
Berapa? Ini gak suka motor.
Allahu Akbar.
Motornya, ya ampun. Dibawa sama kuntilanak. Seru gak ya?
Ya berhenti. Anjir.
Kok bisa ya kuntilanak pakai motor?
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar.
Serem banget loh kalau kayak gitu.
Astagfirullah. La ilaha illallah.
Kunci yang ngatur atau gimana ya?
Hei, kamu mau ngapain bawa motor saya tadi? Anjir, kirain tuh maling. Kamu kuntilanak apa maling? Kuntilanak apa maling kamu? Astagfirullah, la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.
Hi friends. Now you can join us and enjoy some interesting features. You can get special subscription emblems and also use interesting stickers. Let's join and interact specifically in the comments column. Thank you.